Hello and welcome to a very cold Port Colborne on this beautiful Sunday afternoon before Christmas. It is currently minus 8 degrees Celsius here, bit of a breeze, and I got some action for you coming into the canal very shortly. I'm down here on the Welland Canal and precisely at lock number 8, as the little plaque says there, in good old Port Colborne. And very shortly, the Algoma Compass, a workhorse of the Algoma fleet, will be making its way into lock number 8 and starting her downbound journey on the Welland Canal and out onto Lake Ontario. So join me as we watch the Algoma Compass come on in to lock number 8. All right, back to the other action. I got a little sidetrack there with the geese. Algoma Compass, just lining up to make her way into lock number 8. And while she's doing that, I'm gonna get the drone ready and set up, because I think we might be able to get away with a drone here. If these geese settle down, that's a nice shot actually. So there's a lot of geese suddenly flying around, and if they're still flying around in 5 minutes, I can't get the drone up, simple as that. Tell you what, when it's cold, like it is today, it feels like the boats take forever, like slower than normal. Whew, it is cold. And that thing doesn't even look like it's moving, but it is, trust me. It's gonna slowly inch its way in. December the 14th, 2025, Lock 8, Port Colborne, the southern gatekeeper of the Welland Canal. Watch Algoma Compass glide in. All 680 feet. That's 270 meters long and 78 feet wide. Built tough in Toledo, Ohio, back in 1973 as Roger M. Kyes for American Steamship Company, and the first vessel launched there since 1959. She earned her hard luck reputation early. Mechanical breakdowns, groundings, renamed Adam E. Cornelius in 1989, and then laid up for years until Algoma Central scooped her up in 2018, breathing new life as Algoma Compass. Now she's hauling iron ore, limestone, salt, 29,120 tons dead weight capacity in those 4 cavernous hulls. Lock 8 isn't your typical lift lock. This one's a leveling lock, a control gate regulating Lake Erie's wild water swings. Erie fluctuates 2 to 11 feet with wind and storms. Lock 8 isolates the canal, holding steady levels for the 8-lock climb to Lake Ontario. No dramatic 50-foot rise here, just surgical precision, keeping 40 freighters a day flowing smoothly. Bow thrusters humming, she centers perfectly in the chamber. Crew coordinates with the lockmaster on VHF 14. Self-unloader boom tucked tight. That 260-foot arm unloads 5,900 tons per hour once she's up top. 680 feet of Great Lakes history, reborn Canadian threading Port Colborne's narrow gate. Lock 8 says yes, and Compass continues north. those twin smokestacks framing the forward conveyor? Classic 1973. Styling shared only with her sister ship. Pure old school Great Lakes character. Squeezing into lock number 8 right now, the Algoma Compass. A vessel that was designed back in the 70s and designed to last at least half a century, and that's exactly what's happened here. The vessel is now 52 years old. Believe it or not, it's 1 year younger than me, and looks better condition than me. And she's still going strong. She's an absolute workhorse of the Algoma fleet, and it's always a pleasure to catch up with this vessel when it comes through Port Colborne. A very unique looking vessel for sure. All right, this is the regulating lock here on the Welland Canal. And as you can see by the watermark, just over on the wall, it looks like the water has dropped about 3 feet. So basically, the level of Lake Erie is a little higher than the canal level. So they have to regulate it, get it to the same level, and then the ship can pass on into the canal. So this is the entrance to the canal from Lake Erie side, and takes you down to Lake Ontario. All right, while we just sit and wait, quickly just tell you a little bit more about the bulk carrier Algoma Compass. She was formerly named the Roger M. Kyes and Adam E. Cornelius. And if I'm not mistaken, you can just about see it embossed behind the Algoma Compass there. I think it might be all embossed on the back. I can't remember. I remember seeing it once before, the old name. It's not here, it's on the other one. She's also had the reputation of earning herself the name Hard Luck. I mentioned this on a previous video I made of this vessel a couple of winters ago, and I ran down a few of the incidents she was involved in, which included the grounding in the Detroit River's Trenton Channel back in 1984, on Gull Island Shoal in Lake Erie in 1987, and then she had another incident at Sioux Locks in the St. Mary's River in 1994. So she's had quite a few problems over the years. Also, other notable incidents would include the strike on the I-75 bridge back in 1983 while moving up the Rouge River in Detroit, and also she was involved in a grounding on the Trenton in 1984, which required 10 tugboats to release her. There's so many things that she's been involved in, hence why she's being called Hard Luck. You can just see the lock gates opening just behind that backhoe there. So any moment now, the alarm should go off on the bridge and it should be going away. Low winter sun shining on those twin stacks. Actually, we can only see one right now, but there are twin stacks on the Algoma Compass. It's a very odd looking vessel. Kind of goes hand in hand really with the 70s. Things were really odd, especially when you look at furniture. It's a really odd era. Time to pick up a little bit more speed now. It's a right hodgepodge of a design, isn't it, when you look at that bridge and the massive hydraulic system which is sat right on top of it. It's just bizarre. Anyway, there we go. There's the twin stacks. You can see the other one now. Look at the pilot house. Can't really see much because the sun's shining from behind. Quite a bit of glare there now. So the bow of the vessel is now just going past the bridge there. Look at the boom. It's like they tried repainting it. It's like it's rusty here, and all of a sudden there's a nice coat of paint here. It's a bit too cold now to start doing any more painting. Yeah, those wonderful stacks with the Algoma symbols on them. What are those round things at the bottom of them? Are they tables just pushed up? Like tables. Just think, if you're watching this in July, just remember how cold it gets in the winter. It's weird how the bridge just overhangs like that. It's just a strange design, just weird. But at the same time, I enjoy looking at this ship. It's just, I think I like weird. There she goes, inching closer, getting level now with that bascule bridge. Maybe it won't fire it up because the other ship is just the other side, but it's a shame because I was looking forward for that. It'd be a nice image right now. Oh, there we go, maybe. Looks like some snow squalls coming off Lake Ontario. Looking at that cloud. All right, there we have it, Algoma Compass. Hope you enjoyed that video, as always. I'll be back very soon with another video, hopefully. And until the next time, stay safe, look after one another. See you all very soon.